Hey friends, welcome back to the Babeology podcast. I'm your host, Gabby, and it's been a while. Again, like always, every episode is very far out from the last. So, welcome back if you're not new here, and if you are new here, then welcome to my little social platform, the very small platform that I try to keep up with. Today, I want to do a little episode about products. I just wanted to hop on. It's been a long time, obviously, and kind of just like drop in. And I thought maybe it'd be good to talk about some products. So, I get a lot of questions from clients and from other people, other SEs asking what products I use on my clients and on myself. Out of curiosity, like what do I use in here? So, I wanted to talk about what my favorite products are now that I've been in the industry for a little bit and kind of like how I use them and how I get results from them and stuff like that that aren't going to cost you like your whole profit. So that's a big thing for me is making sure that I'm intentional with what I buy because there are a lot of products out there. There are a lot of new things that come out from different companies and it's hard not to buy it all. That's my thing. It's hard not to want to try everything and buy and spend your money and just consume and collect because sometimes you buy stuff and you don't love it, or sometimes it doesn't work really well for what your clientele is or whatever it is, and you just push it to the side and then you just wasted your money. So, especially when it's like a back bar size or not something that you can just kind of like try out and finish and then not really care if you buy it again. So, here are the things that I've definitely tried multiple times. I always try out with samples first when I want to buy something, and if there's not a sample, I will buy it for myself, like at home use. If I love it, then I bring it in here because obviously, if I love it and I'm picky about it, when I put it on somebody else, they're gonna love it because they didn't do the research or have to see if they liked it or not. It's just on them, and it did work. So then they start to like it when they come in for their treatments, and I can use it on them continuously. So I'll start like with categories. So cleansers will be first, and then I'll go through exfoliants, serums, and moisturizers. And I only have one favorite SPF that I would recommend. So I'm gonna get started with cleansers. I have kind of like four or five maybe for each category that you might want to try if you haven't. So with cleansers, I'm gonna start with my number one favorite, and it's from GLYMED. A lot of this is from GLYMED, so they're my number one. They're not crazy expensive. They're a little pricey, maybe for people who aren't used to buying retail skincare, but they have the results to prove their pricing because it's not crazy. And I think it's a good starting point and something. There's even stuff in there that I've seen med spas use and stuff in there from GLYMED. So anyway, cleansers. My first one is the Idyllic cleanser from GLYMED. And that one, I don't think I go into any facial without. I might use it and not use it on a couple of people that are like really sensitive. I have an intro facial that I usually use it in, but if I see that somebody's skin is like already flush or really sensitive or really warm to touch and I don't want to irritate them starting off right at the cleanser, I will go to another cleanser, but I always start, well, let's say pre-cleanse is a different one, but I always do my second cleanse with the Idyllic cleanser and I foam it up really nicely with these two little fluffy fan brushes that I had kind of like ordered in bulk with my logo on them. And I just use them for myself pretty much. I still have a bunch of them, but I use those two fluffy brushes and I get one in each hand, fluff them up in a little tiny bit of water, like a drop of water with the cleanser. And I'll do just like an oxygenating, like foamy cleanse. And I feel like that really gets down. It really like distributes evenly. You're not lathering and kind of like caking it on. It's just my favorite way to cleanse. And I actually think I got that from one of my friends because I don't think I tried that on my own. And I think it was my friend Angie. Once again, she's the best. Like we go back and forth with stuff that we've tried. And I think she's the one that told me to try it like that. And ever since then, I've loved it. So, GLYMED Idyllic Cleanser, that would be my number one go-to if you're interested. It's good for sensitive skin. Pretty much anybody can use it. And I actually have the bottle here. So this is what it looks like if you're watching the video. If you're not watching the video, then it's just, I have my back bar. It's 3% mandelic acid. And then on the back, it says it contains 3% mandelic formulated to gently exfoliate, control acne causing bacteria, and brighten the skin. It provides anti-aging and gentle exfoliation benefits. It's recommended for mild to moderate concerns, suitable for all skin tones, acne grades, and skin types. This is a mild active cleanser, can be used every day. So definitely it is gentle. Like it's literally so gentle. But like I said, if you have any sort of sensitivity or you're scared to try it on somebody who looks a little flush or you're not too sure how they handle certain products, I would not use that starting out because it claims to be mildly active, but it definitely is very exfoliating. It's not aggressive in any way, but it does get that nice exfoliation starting off at a cleanse. So if you're going to introduce another exfoliant or some kind of exfoliating factor into the facial or into your skincare routine, I would not start off with this. So definitely beginner friendly, but if you're scared to use something a little active, don't do this. I will tell you which one to use, and it's in my list. But my second favorite cleanser is the vitamin C cleanser from GLYMED also. And I do have that one here too. So let's see. If you're watching the video, if you're not, sorry. But the vitamin C cleanser is also in a back bar size. So the back bar size is 16 ounces. This one says it's an antioxidant packed cleanser, and it promotes hydration and aids in protecting the skin. Helps soften and remove dead skin, makeup oils, and it's a creamy cleanser. So this one is always going to be my pre-cleanse for an anti-aging facial. It's not irritating or strong or anything like that. It's really gentle, but it does do a good job at like getting up all of the oil, like any kind of makeup residue, any kind of buildup. I will go in and massage it for a first cleanse and then wipe off with some facial sponges. But that's my favorite pre-cleanse. The other one that you can use instead of that from GLYMED, which is also a creamy cleanser, is a Mega Cream Cleanser from GLYMED also. It's very gentle. I like the vitamin C though because you do get that like benefit of the brightening. The vitamin C is being introduced at the beginning, and I feel like it does a good job at getting everything up and leaving your skin like already really glowy. So that's my favorite. I just massage it in with my hands. I use anything besides the removal with the facial sponges. And then I'll go in with my second cleanse, which is, like I said, typically the idyllic cleanser. And if not, it's like a glycolic cleanser. So that's my next one. The GLYMED glycolic cleanser is my favorite glycolic cleanser. It's really gentle. I've used it to brighten up my skin when I've had breakouts, and it does help a lot. It can cause some sensitivity if you overdo it because glycolic is a little more active. So, and GLYMED's glycolic cleanser, I feel like is more, like it performs better than a lot of the glycolic cleansers that I've tried, but there are some other good ones, but it is really good. So glycolic from GLYMED is one of my favorite glycolic cleansers. And I think they call it they used to call it the gentle wash or something like that. And now they just call it a glycolic cleanser, I believe. But yes, so that's my third favorite is from GLYMED, the glycolic face wash, the glycolic cleanser. Sorry. And then I have another glycolic that I use, but that's from SkinScript. So SkinScript is my second like go-to for exfoliants and not so much anything else really. I'll just use like the cleansers, like that one. I'll use that one. I use their hydration mist. That's like my little baby. I love that one. And the enzymes. Everybody loves the enzymes from SkinScript. So that's my fourth cleanser on my list is SkinScript glycolic cleanser. Dang, that's hard to say. And then SkinScript green tea citrus cleanser, which I also have here. And this is the back bar size. This one is my go-to and alternate for the idyllic. When I can't use that one on people, I will go in with the green tea citrus cleanser. This is gentle. I feel like I've never had anybody that, unless you're allergic to any kind of citrus, but I've never had anybody that can't handle it. And does it say anything? No. Oh, it does. It says the foamy cleanser deep cleans with grapefruit, lemon oil, and green tea, calms and restores, give a radiant glow. So this is just like your go-to cleanser if you just want to have maintenance. It's not going to really treat or do anything like that, but it is really nice. I can foam that one up just as nicely and really get a good cleanse in there. It really does prep the skin really well. So that's like my second go-to when I can't use the idyllic or the glycolic. I will use that one on people, and it does a great job. kind of just does as much, but obviously it doesn't have that treatment, those treatment actives in it, if that makes sense to me. Like it's not really giving, it's just kind of cleansing. So those are my list of cleansers. Hopefully that wasn't like a run on and you are able to differentiate all of the cleansers that I just mentioned. Those are my favorite. I'll move on to the exfoliants. So this isn't like forever because I can ramble. I'll just move on to the next category, which is the exfoliants. And I do have quite a bit on this list because I do use a lot of a variety of different exfoliants. The first one on my list is GLYMED's Oxygen Solution. I cannot like get away from the oxygen solution. I use it in almost any facial, especially people who I've seen multiple times. Like there's not a facial I have not used it in, unless it's an intro and I can tell that they might have a little reaction or be sensitive or get really flushed or warm or anything like that. I won't use it. But if it's somebody I've had in here multiple times and they are just looking for like that boost, if I know that the enzyme that I'm using isn't as strong and I can do a little extra, I will use the oxygen solution from GLYMED. It's literally a liquid and it's supposed to be a peel prep solution, but on its own it's already very exfoliating, and it really just like gives like an inner hydration look. Like it doesn't just look like I slapped some products on. It literally, like, you can see the dullness go away and there's like a little glow just with the solution on itself, and it's self-neutralizing, which is really nice. You don't have to worry about overdoing it and leaving it on too long or like going over on time by mistake. But it self-neutralizes, so I put it on kind of like towards the end of the facial after I've done everything so that I'm not just wiping it off. So I will do usually my 2 cleanses, exfoliate, do hydroderm, do every single thing that I'm going to do. I'll even put it on after I do the, what is it? What was I saying? After I apply the calming mask that I'll do. So I'll usually apply like goji berry, the yogurt or whatever it's called, like calming hydrating mask to bring everything down and like seal everything in. I will use it after that because I won't be wiping it off and it's going to sit there after it self neutralizes, and then I can just put the serums and moisturizers over it. And it really does, like, you can tell the difference. I've used it after dermaplane. That is the best combo that I've had so far. So that's my favorite, oxygen solution over everything. And then there's the oxygen deep pore mask. That is a second like little baby right there. Like the deep pore mask really does a lot. It really breaks down. So I do cleanser, first cleanse, double cleanse, deep pore mask, let it sit for however long, like 5 to, never really do 10 minutes, but I'll do like 5 to 7. And I let it foam up. I'll even sometimes like foam it up really, really good and let it bubble up and do its thing. And then I'll remove it with the, why I have not had coffee. I will remove it with the skin scrubber. So I'll put it onto the setting where it removes the product. I need some coffee so bad. And yeah, I'll scrape it up with the skin scrubber. That's what I'm trying to say. And that will prep the skin really well. It softens everything up. All the oil, everything pushes right up, because after I scrape it off, I will go in with the cleanse setting on my skin scrubber and push everything out of the skin. And you can literally see, like, on the cotton round, or like the 4x4, like all the buildup, everything that came out, and it just kind of like glides out like butter. Sometimes you need a little more. Sometimes I will do that. Then an enzyme, if I see that they're really congested or they have a really like glycated skin type, like especially on elderly people that they have had like glycation or anything like that, where you can just tell that it's not going to kind of like come up and glide out of their skin when you're trying to do extractions and stuff like that. I'll do an enzyme, and then after the enzyme, I will do the extractions. So that's the deep pore mask. That's my favorite. I've used it on myself to clear up my own acne. I had several like phases of my life where I did have acne really bad on my cheeks, and I don't know why I got it or how I got rid of it really, but I know the deep pore mask was the last time I had like acne. That was one thing that really cleared it up, and like cleared it up fast. So that was one that I used. And then you can also, I recommend a lot of my Brazilian wax girls, or like acne butt cheek acne girls, to use that as a mask. So I will tell them to put it on, let it sit, let it bubble up, and then take it off, because I feel like for ingrown hairs, especially congested Brazilian people that get not Brazilian people, but Brazilian wax girls that get a a lot of ingrowns, no matter what they try, that is one thing that'll really help. Oxygen, if you don't know yet, oxygen kills bacteria. Bacteria cannot live in oxygenated environments, and it helps to clear up acne and congestion. So that's one of my favorite go-to ingredients is oxygen. I use oxygen in almost every single facial. So next on my list will be basically every enzyme from GLYMED. I don't know if I've used every single one. I'm sure I have. Maybe I haven't done the lemon enzyme, lemon extract enzyme, and the only reason why is because it doesn't have a long shelf life. It's only shelf stable for like, I don't know how long. I don't want to say something that's not right, but it's only a few months. And I just don't use strong enzymes on everybody that often because I have other stuff to use. So that's one that I've heard is great. I just haven't used it. But my favorite top, like let's say top 3 enzymes, the Swiss pine enzyme was my favorite. I don't know if they have, I think that's only seasonal. And then I use the coconut papaya enzyme. That's like on my very rosacea sensitive type of girls. I use that. And let's see, there's so many good ones, but I think maybe the strawberry enzyme is pretty good too. They have a pumpkin enzyme that's bomb. There's so many, but my favorite go-to on like anybody would be the coconut papaya enzyme. I think that's what it's called. Um, Anyway, enzymes from SkinScript, though, no matter which one you get, it's going to do something. And some of them are stronger than others. I think some of them are even considered like in the peel range. So some of them you have to order, I think, by phone with them. So enzymes from SkinScript, bomb. And then GLYMED enzyme, the hydrating enzyme mask, that is like another go-to. You can mix that, and I think a lot of people go to this combo. You can mix the hydrating mask, enzyme mask, with the deep pore oxygen mask and let it bubble up. It turns like this like Shrek looking green and it foams up, but it does a lot for the skin because it's hydrating, but it's also getting really deep in there with the oxygen and it's exfoliating. So that one can be a little messy, but it's one of my favorites. I love that one and I use it all the time. Next is going to be, okay, this is going to be probably like not everyone's favorite on the list, but the Dermalogica Milk Foliant, not the microfoliant. The microfoliant for me seems a little too stripping, like your barrier will get effed up real quick if you overdo it with the microfoliant. But the Milk Foliant from Dermalogica is like magic. I don't know. There's nothing really like it. I haven't seen anything like it. It comes in a little powder form, so you don't have to worry about it spilling. If it does open, you would literally have to turn it over like a salt shaker for it to come out. So that's what I like about their packaging on that too. It comes out like a little sifter, and you pour it in your hand. You can literally get a brush and mix it up, like foam it up, or you can foam it up in your hands with water. It's a little messier that way, so I like to use it with a foamy brush, like with a fluffy brush. And that was another thing that cleared up my acne like twice because I don't know what broke me out, like I said, but it was hard getting rid of the acne that I had on my cheeks. And that was one of the things that really saved me because it wasn't too stripping. It wasn't too sensitive for me. Like my skin wasn't too sensitive and it did do a lot. So I would use that like 3 times a week. Milk Foliant. It's a little pricey, Dermalogica, and it's a little more mainstream, which a lot of people in the industry might not be a fan of because they have their reasons. But Milk Foliant was one of my favorites. The next is the SkinScript Raspberry Refining Exfoliant. That's another good one. That one actually has little micro beads in it. I don't know what the micro beads are made of. I don't know if it's like the raspberry seeds or what exactly it is. I don't have it in here. I have it at home. But I know it's controversial to have a micro bead exfoliant because it's not good environmentally. But I don't think that one has anything that's environmentally dangerous or like damaging. I think they use like something that's acceptable, which I don't know what it is, but raspberry refining cleanser, it is really good, or refining scrub, not the cleanser, the scrub. It's a scrub. It's thick. It's kind of looks almost like textured like a body scrub, but way thinner and finer. So it's not gonna like be abrasive or scrape up your skin or your face or anything. It's really gentle. You don't have to go too hard. You just literally like rub it in, and you can feel it just like scrubbing your skin. It's almost like if you were using some sort of like body scrub, but a face version of it. So, and it's not like an apricot scrub or anything like that. No, but it is really good, really gentle if you can tolerate like a raspberry ingredient. If you're not allergic to berries. And toner pads from SkinScript are like my number one go-to retail item in here because I retail that to people who have any kind of concern really. Like if you have pigmentation, if you have ingrown hairs, if you have stubborn ingrown hairs, like cystic ingrown hairs, if somebody's suffering with acne, if somebody's suffering with hyperpigmentation from acne anywhere, I use it on my underarms for like hyperhidrosis because a girl sweats it up. And I have always had that problem since I was little. That's the only thing that kind of helps me keep myself like fresh, and I feel like it's doing something on my underarm area, but it goes a long way. The toner pads are like for everything type of thing if you can tolerate all the ingredients. They're not strong, but they do have tea tree, I believe, salicylic acid, and they have what else do they have? I'm blanking. But look it up. Toner pads from SkinScript. Because there's also a glycolic and retinol pads that look exactly the same, and I get those ingredients mixed up all the time. But the toner pads are a go-to. They're not too aggressive. You can use them. I use them on my butt cheeks, on my arms, on my face, on my bikini area, on a scar that I have on my leg. I use it on everything, and it literally just has the solution on the little pad, so you don't have to do anything. You just take one out and use it everywhere until it dries up. So that's it for exfoliants. I might have gone on a ramble on some of those. Sorry, but next is serums. The GLYMED Hydrogel is a hyaluronic acid serum that I love from GLYMED. That's my go-to. I don't think I've ever not used this on a client. And I've gone through like a back bar myself at home. So this is my go-to. It is a little pricey, but it says it replenishes dehydrated, irritated, and aging skin with hyaluronic acid gel. Hyaluronic acid is found in our bodies and is responsible for healthier, younger skin. Its ultralight formula melts into the skin, which it does. It melts into the skin nicely. It is not greasy. It's really thin. You don't need a lot. You literally could use like a little tiny pea drop and it would go a long way. I've used that on my bikini area to hydrate that because it's not going to clog my pores and it's really hydrating and thin. So I use hydrogel on bikini, face. I've used it on my chest and my underarms also. But like I said, it is a little pricey, so you might not want to use it anywhere else besides your neck and up. So hydrogel is a go-to. I feel like anybody can use that. The next one is from GLYMED also. That's a protective skin serum. The protective skin serum is like a rich, creamy serum, almost like a moisturizer. I'm trying to pick it up out of my cabinet. Let's see. I use this, and I'm pretty low already, but I use this on pretty much everybody, especially anti-aging facials. Where is it? Anyway, I can't find it, but it has I'm just trying to look for it in my skincare cabinet here. What the heck? I swear I use it all the time. I don't know where it's at. Daily. No, this is my. Oh, that's because I have it in a back bar size, which I forgot about. So, protective skin serum with ceramides. So, this is the back bar size if you can see it. And this one says that it is. It says that used with the hydrogel for best results, which I didn't even know that was like a duo, but I've been using it anyway together. Suggested to be used after every clinical treatment. So I feel like this is best for home use though, because any serum that you're recommending or using on clients or yourself is going to do the most when you're using it religiously at home. But the protective skin serum from GLYMED is, yeah, one of my top favorites. Yeah, with ceramides, it's rich, so it's almost like a cleanser. It's just like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a boost and like cozy hug of a serum. Like it just feels so good when you put it on. It doesn't dry up. Like it'll absorb nicely. It just feels like your skin can breathe. And that is like my go-to. It is pricey also, but it's my go-to. The GLYMED peptide serum, also one of my favorites. It's like the baby version, I feel like, of the protective skin serum. So that's a go-to for me. I don't use it in every single facial, but I will use it when I dermaplane or do like a nano infusion. And then lastly, which this is going to be a little bit of a pricey one. Like I wouldn't recommend it to, actually I would, but if you're trying to start out and you're on a budget, I would say definitely an investment, but it's the Epicutis lipid serum. I think that it's like a magical potion. Like it just works so nicely and it's so thin and it goes a long way, but it just feels I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like it works. Like there's some stuff that you put on and you're like it didn't do anything, but that when you put it into your skincare routine, the lipid serum is like it's like I don't know, it's just so comforting for your skin. Like your skin will calm down, it'll relax, it will not be so angry, like especially if you're doing exfoliating or you're trying to heal some acne or you're trying to work on brightening and you're using other active ingredients. The lipid serum will help you with pretty much anything. So Epicutis lipid serum, it definitely runs in the higher range, very high range of like quality products. And I believe it's a little over 100, maybe a lot over 100. But if you're interested in a serum that actually works, that you need to add into your skincare you just must have something that works, that'll be one of your go-to items. Lastly, and just to wrap this up, the moisturizers, Daily Repair Moisturizer, 10 out of 10 from GLYMED. That's my go-to moisturizer. Daily Repair Moisturizer. Like that is your girl for anybody and everyone. I feel like well, I wouldn't say for acne. There's better options out there for acne because this is more for maintenance and treatment of anti-aging. This says that it's a deeply hydrating cream, repairs and prevents damage that causes aging. A little pricey once again, but it works. GLYMED Barrier Repair, that has helped me in so many ways, especially with acne when I have done deep exfoliants. And then when I had sensitivity from breakouts, barrier repair cream, it really does help with your barrier and it's not super thick and it's not super thin. So perfect for anyone who has rosacea. Um, Circadia Post Peel Balm, I use that on people that have very dry skin, and I've done everything else. And especially after a treatment, I will put the Post Peel Balm to kind of seal it all in. It's not really going to treat anything. It's just kind of like literally a balm. It seals everything in. It's good for nighttime. And then my SPF, my go-to girl or two I have, and my number one is the Light Broad Spectrum from Circadia. And that's like my like hands down, I would tell anyone to get that one. And then the next one would be the GLYMED oil free SPF, and it's the protective moisturizer, and I use the SPF 15. So those are my two favorite SPFs. I will use the Skin Script, and I'll tell anybody to use Skin Script if they don't use any SPF because anything is something when it comes to SPF. So that's it for the products. If you have any questions or are interested in anything else I use, feel free to ask me or let me know. But that's kind of some of the stuff I use. I use tons of stuff in here, pretty much from the same brands. But those are my favorite. That's like if I had a bucket, I would put those in that bucket. Hopefully that helped, and hopefully you can introduce some of them into your routines or your treatments. But like, subscribe, follow wherever you're listening to this, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.